Stop running for weight loss. This video is dedicated to those specific few who want to lose weight but think that running is the only form of cardio that works. And if you give me just a few minutes of your time, I will drastically transform how you do cardio for the rest of your life. First of all, cardio is not necessary for weight loss. Is cardio important when it comes to losing weight? Yeah, it's a big help and it allows you to eat more food and lose weight quicker. When you're losing the weight, it's nice to be able to eat more food because then you can take in more nutrients, which then produces all the good hormones and allows you to feel a little bit more satiated. But is cardio a must? Not necessarily. At the end of the day, you can meet a lot of your daily activity or cardio needs by simply walking 10 to 20,000 steps per day. I need to adjust my underwear, bro. If you live a pretty active lifestyle, you go out on a lot of walks, you spend a lot of your day working outside, then there's generally no need to do any extra cardio. And I promise you, if you work a very physical job or you have high daily activity and you usually get in those 10 or 20,000 steps per day, it's not the cardio or your activity that's sabotaging your weight loss. It's definitely your diet. And pushing cardio further is only going to make you more tired and lower your willpower throughout the day. I have been equally as in shape when doing cardio and when not doing cardio. Like at the end of the day, you can reach your goal body in whatever form that you find easiest. And if you, for the love of God, cannot stick to a single cardio method, but you can walk like 10 to 20,000 steps a day, then that's way more efficient than going out of your day and doing extra cardio. But it all boils down to, first and foremost, controlling your caloric intake. Now, once again, do I recommend that you do cardio? Yeah, it's going to be amazing for you. It's going to allow you to lose weight faster. But if you find that you will do cardio for 1 week or 2 weeks and then drop off and never touch it again for the next month, then maybe just switch to getting in like 10,000 steps a day. Go for a walk in the park, go hang out with friends, go do some other activity that's not dedicated to cardio and being there like an absolute idiot with your headphones in, oh, I'm in grind mode. It's just not really that fun. Some of us find it fun, I find it fun, but it's a mental battle and it's very difficult and boring for people who don't enjoy self-torture like I do. Getting in like 10 or 20,000 steps is gonna be the equivalent of jogging like 30 or 40 minutes per day. So that's roughly the calories that you can expect to burn if you add in an extra 10k steps per day. Okay, so we don't have to do cardio, but what if you do want to make progress faster? How do you actually pick a cardio method for yourself? Now, this is where the gist of this video comes in. Running is not the only form of cardio that you can do for weight loss. And if you aren't consistent with running whatsoever, like how I wasn't when I started working out, choose a different form of cardio and then progress it slowly over time. For me, personally, when I was a fatty and I started running because everyone around me told me that, oh, running is good for weight loss, I would run like 3 times a week, every single week, for a max total of 2 weeks, and then fall off. And this cycle continued like 5 times before I realized that, God, I'm probably doing something wrong. It wasn't until I discovered different cardio methods, like first jump rope, then biking, and then the elliptical, that I actually became consistent with my cardio, and that's where I significantly lost more weight. And to find the cardio method that you enjoy, all you have to do is just try all of them. I know this sounds ridiculous, but there's going to be a cardio method that you do and you're going to find that like the medium difficulty of that cardio method is kind of easy for you. And that likely means that your body just has like the perfect biomechanics for this cardio type, which will allow you to burn more calories and have an easier time doing it. So keeping this in mind, you can think that some people may actually not find running that difficult. Like if you're a lanky African dude, you're skinny, you kind of have the genetics for it, you may find running to be an excellent form of cardio, and it's ingrained in your DNA. Your whole ancestry has been doing it for the last like hundreds of thousands of years. Of course you're gonna find it easy. Some people are just generally lighter. They don't get too out of breath when they're running. They're smaller humans, and so of course they're going to find something like running more easy compared to us fatter folks who aren't used to this type of shit. These people can run all day, it doesn't hurt their joints, and that's good for them, but look, I don't weigh 100 pounds, so once again, I cannot relate. And for fatter people, when it comes to cardio, I always recommend something low impact like biking, swimming, or the elliptical and the assault bike, which are very similar. Whenever I say elliptical, just keep in mind that this also means the assault bike. They're very, very similar. And so why do I recommend this? Not only does something like the assault bike and the elliptical burn almost just as many calories as running, but it's so low impact that you can do it every single day. It's not gonna destroy your joints and you can actually recover from it day after day, which means you can do it every single day. Like if you've ever tried running, you'll know that the first day you run, your legs are killing you for the entire week. If you do the elliptical, you can actually burn just as much fat as that running session that destroyed your joints, but you feel perfectly fine the next day, and you can keep on training over and over and over again, and it doesn't feel like a drag. You see, when you run, you actually put a lot of stress on your body. Every single step that you take is you just dropping your entire body weight on your leg, where with something like the elliptical or swimming or biking or using the assault bike, you're not really fighting with gravity in your body weight. It's more of the resistance that the thing gives you, which is much less stressful on your joints, but you're still moving your arms, you're still moving your legs, so it still burns a whole bunch of calories. So keeping this in mind, here are some cardio method recommendations. So as previously mentioned, when speaking to more overweight people who are trying to get into better shape, I always recommend lower intensity cardio because first of all, it's easier to do, you're gonna burn more calories, and you can do it day in, day out without any issues. Consider something like biking, rowing, the elliptical, the assault bike, the stair climber, me looking at the thick gym girl's booty thingamachine, and incline walking. Basically every single week for 3 days per week, do one of these cardio methods and then just see which one is the easiest to you at the end of the experiment. And look, at the end of the day, first and foremost, don't focus on which burns the most calories, because if you get good at any form of cardio, you can actually just push harder to the point where your body can burn the same amount of calories while biking as something like running. This is why you need to pick a cardio method that you actually enjoy, because it'll be easier to get better at that cardio method, and the better you get at it, the more calories you can burn with it. Like logically thinking, biking doesn't burn that many calories compared to running, but if you get really fast on the bike, you can actually become more efficient at burning more calories. This is kind of a weird physiology glitch. The better shape you are, the more calories you can burn. So it's actually easier to stay in shape as an athlete rather than when you're losing weight. Unfair, I know. So how do you stay consistent with cardio? As previously mentioned, when trying any cardio method, I always recommend you start off with 3 times per week at a moderate pace. You should break a sweat just a little bit, maybe find it slightly difficult to talk, but it shouldn't feel too difficult. Keep your heart rate at around 110 to 130 and everything should be perfect. And then once you find the cardio method that you actually find enjoyable and that you think you could do for the rest of your life, still keep it to 3 times per week. Do easy cardio. Don't go from 0 to 100 because you're not gonna stick to it. Look, you've probably tried to do cardio in the past, and what happens when you try to go all out in anything? Oh, I'm really gonna dedicate myself to cardio this time, and you fail. Oh, I'm really gonna go to the gym this time, and then you fail. Oh, I'm really gonna be on this diet this time, and then you fail. Whenever you go from 0 to 100 in any facet of your life, there's a big chance that you're going to rebound back to 0. But if you go from 0 to 1, then to 2, then to 3, the progress is so slow that you don't even notice that it's getting harder day by day. But then at the end of the month or at the end of 2 years, you realize that holy shit, I'm at like 50%, I'm at 100%. And then going from 0 to 100 feels like you just went from 0 to 1. It's a fucking good explanation. You better subscribe for that knowledge, boy. And also look, we start off 3 times per week, very easy. And following this 0 to 1 to 2 method, we just increase either the frequency, the duration, or the intensity. Let's say you're biking 20 kilometers 3 times per week. After a couple of weeks, that's gonna feel ridiculously easy because your body actually adapted to the activity. So then instead of biking 20 kilometers 3 times per week, maybe bike 25 kilometers 3 times per week, or bike 20 kilometers 4 times per week, whatever fits your schedule best. The idea here is to progressively overload how hard the cardio is. Just like in the gym, how you wouldn't start off benching 100 kg, you start off with the bar, you start off with the 10 kilogram plates. With cardio, you start off lower frequency, lower volume, make it as easy as possible, and progressively overload the difficulty. Make it harder over time. And only make it harder when your previous cardio was easy. If you still find biking 3 times a week to be an absolute pain in the ass, don't start biking 4 times a week. Really squeeze out the progress from your previous step before you progress, because progressing too fast can also lead to you falling off. So where does running actually play a role? As you get more advanced in in fitness, I do believe that running does have its place in that cardio hall of fame. I don't think people say that running is the best form of cardio for no reason. Look, what I've found is that if you want to improve that very explosive high energy cardio for short durations, sprints and running is the way to go. Running is a fantastic method I have personally found to actually increase your cardiovascular capability rather than just burning fat. And look, if you're doing these low intensity cardio methods, yeah, you're still gonna make that base cardio that you have for your body significantly better, but I just find that if I really want to push my cardiovascular health, running allows me to really drain myself out like no other cardio method. Like if I'm doing the elliptical or biking or rowing, it feels as if my muscles actually get more tired before my heart starts to beat out of my chest. But when I'm running, my legs don't hurt that bad, but my heart is throbbing in my chest, and I know that my cardio is getting goddamn better. Now look, if you still plan to run and you want to start running, the best tip I could give you is, as a beginner, never go more than 3 times per week, because you are going to destroy your legs and then you're not going to be able to do cardio for that long. And never do more than one intense running session where your heart rate is reaching like 170 or 180 BPM. Running will fatigue the hell out of you like no other cardio method can. Once again, remember, you're putting the full weight of your body and gravity onto your joints with every single step. If you weigh 90 kg, it's not you putting 90 kilograms on every single step. It's more like you putting 300 kg because you're jumping onto your legs with every single step. Could you imagine how difficult it would be if someone was throwing 300 kg on you every single time you walked? It would be pretty hard to recover from that, right? So don't overdo the running. And what I personally do is I do 3 running sessions per week with 3 elliptical sessions in between to recover from the running. And I'll do 1 really intense running session, which pushes my limits in those 3 running sessions. So what do you do if you fall off with cardio? Eventually, there will come a point where you stop doing cardio. You get an injury, you have to go to the hospital, you've been a lazy piece of shit and you don't want to admit it. For me, this came at a time last year when I was bulking up. If you look at the previous videos on this channel like a year ago, that was me doing no cardio. Now, why did I not do cardio? I was working a physical job. I was doing Muay Thai 3 times a week. I was hitting the gym 6 times a week. And I had to eat a ridiculous amount of food to actually bulk up and build muscle. So I thought, hey, maybe if I reduce the cardio, I won't have to eat 4,500 calories per day. Pretty smart. But you know, after a few months, the bulk is done and you want to get back into shape. You maybe want to start cutting, maybe trim down the fat a little bit, and now I have to add in some cardio, or at least I wanted to add in some cardio. And boy, was that a humbling ass experience. It legit felt like I was a fatty struggling with my weight all over again. Me, the person that's been working out for years and years, who works out every single day, struggled with consistency and cardio. I would try to run more than 3 times per week, burn myself out, you know, I would find every excuse not to do cardio. And what I realized is that you have to go back to the basics. If you fell off with your cardio, restart like you're a beginner all over again. Lower your ego and start back at 3 easy sessions per week at 30 minutes of a low intensity cardio method. So what did this look like for me? I was doing 3 elliptical sessions per week, running 3 times per week, and then 1 intense running session. For the first couple of weeks, I had to drop this to just 3 light elliptical sessions per week. That was ridiculous, and that was very easy, but that's the key. You want it to be easy. You want it to be so easy that you can't miss a day. So I did that for a couple weeks, then I started doing elliptical 4 times a week up until I got to the point where I was doing elliptical 6 times per week. Okay, now we can take out the elliptical and add in a running session into there to make it a little bit more challenging. And you progressively overload this up until you get to the original point where you were at. This, from everything that I have learned, is the best way to go about it. Do not let your ego fight you, because going from 0 to 100, as I previously said, is much more difficult than going from 0 to 1 to 2 to 3. I know it sucks, but don't worry, it's not going to be as hard as literally starting cardio all over again. What I want you to realize about failure with anything in fat loss is that you don't lose anything by failing, and it's more like you gain XP because you realize what works and what doesn't work. And even if you did cardio for a long time and then you fell off, it's going to be significantly more easier to get into cardio again the next time. If it took you 6 months to become consistent in cardio, next time it's only going to take you 1 month. Why? Because you psychologically leveled up. Your brain has rewired. It's gonna be easier, just trust me. Now, another thing I want you to keep in mind is do different cardio methods if you ever get bored. Look, I'll be honest, some days I don't really want to do cardio, but what I do on those days is I either take a really easy day with my cardio, like for example, I'll just do some light elliptical work, or I'll just do a completely different cardio method that I just don't really do that often, like incline walking. It's better to do a light cardio session than to just skip cardio altogether. The consistency, the momentum, and the self-image that you will build when not skipping your cardio days is far more important than any of the calories that you can burn. So when you get bored of cardio and you really don't feel like doing it, just take it easy. And 9 times out of 10, once you get onto that cardio machine and you do those first 5 or 10 minutes light, you break through that mental barrier and you tell yourself, fuck it, well, I'm already doing cardio and this is really, really easy. Why don't I make it a little bit harder? Don't have that all or nothing mentality, and just keep in mind that as long as you got on that damn cardio machine, still hit the cardio, then you could check it off like your daily task list. The most important thing when it comes to weight loss is first, you need to develop that self-image of a person who is athletic. And as a final thing, just to give you some extra motivation, here are the best benefits of cardio. Weight loss becomes ridiculously easy. You can eat more food and still lose weight. Or if you're trying to gain weight, like your boy here is, who is a former fatty, it actually allows people like me to eat more food and feel satiated. I have an insane appetite, so I'd rather do cardio when I'm bulking because I fucking like eating. You will not be as bloated in the face if you do cardio often. Not sweating is a major cause of chubby cheeks. You have hella sodium retention if you're not sweating, which is sucking in water, especially in your face, in your cheekbones. So if you want those sexy chiseled cheekbones, you stupid look maxer, go do your cardio. You will get stronger erections and your sex life will be better. You can last longer in bed, and if you lose some weight from the cardio, you can actually gain an extra 1 to 2 inches on your penis. And now I bet you everyone is listening. Oh yeah, bro, cardio. Yeah, that cardio. We need to be doing cardio. Bro, we have to hop on that cardio for real. This guy said we can gain some extra inches. Your sleep becomes better. You feel more tired when going to bed, making it easier to fall asleep, and you wake up more refreshed. You get sick less often. Your brain will be sharper, and it's been proven that your anxiety and depression scores will be lowered. And speaking on that fact, I'm pretty sure you can find a bunch of studies where they show cardio is actually better for your mental health than taking real chemical SSRI antidepressants. And most importantly, you will live longer. Now, I think everyone knows this, but I think it's important that we just remember how important this is. If you found this video helpful and you trust me enough, press the first link in the description and join our school group. There you can find courses on weight loss, nutrition, and muscle growth that will fast track your journey to success.